You know what you know. What do you know about splicing tape? And before I show the video, I do my little studies. This is pro. It says professional 3-head, 3-speed stereo recorder. Play, record, fast, push, edit, stop, rewind, push. It's at 1.5, 3/4, and is that a half with a, no, it's 7 1/4. 7 1/4. Got a tape, my meter counter, recording such, and like that, left or right. Your attenuation right here. Trim. VU meter, and it goes from the source or the tape. And a headphone jack. Microphone left, microphone right, and there's a left. Yeah. I can really see it now. And it says left, right, preamp out. That has got to be the coolest thing about it. And the tape saturation. Aux input. And those are RCA. Look like a banana. That's weird look. That's the weird look right there, Betty. That's the weird look. See, that's what I didn't see that the first time. Of course, on and off in the volume. And I'm going through the 1/4 inches. And I gotta figure out what those connections. I'm gonna have to order those or something, because those don't look like, I don't remember seeing anything look like that to hook into here. It's like look like a banana style, or the old RCA maybe. Maybe there's a way RCA used to look. Let's try it. Yeah. This baby here is a steal, boy. I needed this. You gotta learn on this one. You must learn. You must learn. You must learn. 1/4 inch on the front. 1/4 inch on the front. And it's not TRS. I don't have TRS back then. 1/4 inch on the front. And it looks like RCA. Let's try RCA. Oh, I hope it's RCA. I hope it's RCA. I don't feel like having to wait for someone to come in the mail. When I got it all right here. Biggity bam, biggity bam, bam, bam. That was wrong. I'm trying to put it on the safe way, and that's wrong. Put it the right way, and that's right. Yeah. Find the groove, and it goes right in. Yeah. There's the tape plays that way. Okay. I can dig that. Okay, so what happened? Here's the story of a man named deSz'e trying to make a record of his own. Had lots of studios that he had help with and was a tech for till one day that I stopped doing tech, cause my artistry was taking it immense. Was getting too intense. It's time for me to make a record. But I won't be all alone. I have this guy doing this and this girl playing. We'll have a good little sounding band. Even if it's craft work, baby, they told you from the beginning. It was a band effort. Not one dude behind the keyboard all the time. One dude behind the mouse. Here's one. Here's one. Check this out. One dude behind the mouse, right? Okay. This was supposed to have been fixed almost 30 years ago when they made computers. You were supposed to have been able to do this. Now, there's a class, there's a Java class that allows you to have multiple mouses on one computer, up to 4, right? And y'all could do anything at any time and it doesn't mess up the other guy with the mouse. Because if you hook up 4 mouses to a computer right now, or any device you plug up a mouse to, four of them, the same mouse, only one it's not gonna do is a touchscreen. And the touchscreen is gonna do the overall Android system, and the other one's and it'll double as a regular mouse when you're in the program on the OPS. So no, you will not be able to do multiple mouses or multiple users on one computer system. This is the one thing that never got updated from first Windows 3.0 or 3.2 or 3.1. I think it's 3.1. And then going into Windows 95, it was like a promise. I played with the class too. So, but there was no emphasis on that. A lot of people, everybody was just happy to have a computer. But no one had a computer where everybody could work on the computer at the same time. And you could, because the power, didn't matter if it was that low K at that time. Then power got bigger. Still ain't got it where, yeah, of course you can do LAN and network and all that. Yeah, you on your computer, they on their computer or device. But on one computer, it should have been multiple inputs and multiple interaction on the computer to where a family could work on something together or work on different things at different times and have that monitor shoot out to their room. And it's off the same processor. It could have done. I saw the commercial. I looked it up on the internet back then. Yeah, what was that? America Online back then? That was my access. And then NetZero came out. And it was free internet. That was the bomb. That was the bomb right there. NetZero. And then, of course, all the other sign-in programs. You had to buy the CD and be signed in and fulfill a contract, or sign a contract with the company, the provider. But yeah. Let's see if this is RCA on the side of this. And RCA. Professional 3-head, 3-speed. The 999. Ooh, look at that. It looks like a 6, don't it? Look how they wrote it. That's pretty kick. That's kick right there, man. Look how they wrote that, dude. What a graphic. What a font to have. The font that you're putting on this tape machine, this machine that will help people record more things. Look at that logo, dude. And then look at the logo down low. Look how, man, realistic. Maybe, yeah, I gotta read more about this. Maybe realistic was a contender on this. Look at their logo. This ain't the realistic I remember from the later 80s and the 90s. Tandy Corporation, because it was a whole copycat brand, clone brand. It was clone brand. It wasn't copycat. And whatever was out, they had a version of it. If you wanted a Casio, they had a version of it. And that would be a good find. If I could find an SK1 and an SK5 Casio in the realistic version, it's out there, man. I'm sure it is. Yeah, that SK5 was the lick. That's all I need. That's all I need right there. That's all I need right there. That's the missing piece that you can't get anymore. And I'll take a 230 CZ 230S, the little baby keyboard that could play the synth patches from the CZ1 or the CZ1000, and the software off of two other plugins can play the same patches into the computer, and it sounds just like it. But I'd rather have the original Casio CZ230S with small keys. Wish they made a 230 regular with regular keys. Never saw that. I wish Realistic did a version of that and had large keys. Realistic was kind of feel like, to me, there was a brand that come. Sears did the same thing. Sears and Roebuck Company. And I heard Roebuck was black. I didn't know that. Anyway, he was the dude that fixed everything or something. So yeah, I got to learn a little bit more on that too. But yeah, we're talking about a nice machine right here. What a beautiful find. What a beautiful find. Beautiful. Thank you. I thank you for this one. I need this. I remember I had just bought a van back in, I don't know when, a minivan. It was like an Astro van. That was like the thing that already passed. It was a fad at one time, and it already passed. I got a deal on one, but it was a lemon that I bought from the guy. He didn't have me put nothing down. He knew it wasn't gonna work. It worked for a little while, and I had just bought a reel-to-reel, and I used to play those tapes in the van, and I used to bring the reel-to-reel out to the van and plug it up to the van, or record out of the van. It was just analog that I was looking for, because the van had a tape deck. And the windshield wipers were so loud it would resonate through the van. It's like a thunder sound or a rubbing sound. Yeah, I need that Scotch tape now. Scotch tape on Scotch. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun, baby. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. Oh my goodness. Your boy's back in town. The boys are back in town. That was a band. Them boys was dope. I really like those guys, man. Those guys were. The boys are back in town. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The boys are back in town. Yeah, yeah. Them boys man, there should have been more production behind them. The Bus Boys. That was the name of that group. The Bus Boys, a black band, man. It was a band, and they could play anything. They could play rock, they could play ska, they could play the doo-bop, they could play what's that in Washington D.C.? They could do that too. They could do that. They could do all that. These boys would fly, and they used to travel with Eddie Murphy. Man, it was them boys was clean. Man, I need to look and see what happened to them, what the story was on them. So I bought the record. I bought Living Color, and I bought this other group. It also had like a compilation. People used to make compilation tapes back then because it was so high. It costed too much to record. It costed way too much to even record. You could get a band together easy, but for recording was like almost the hardest thing. And I didn't know you could have did it yourself with machines like this or 4-tracks. Now 4-tracks are back in. And I thought that was novice at the end. I'm like, I'm not going to get the sound I'm looking for. Oh no, 2-track and 4-track Tascam or whatever, Rock Fostex or whatever other brands there were. Otari had made one. They had the big one. And you'd be scared to get it because it was so much. It was like a machine, a big old shredder. It was intimidating to record on that. But you would have the power, but you better come with the musicality with it to record. Just because you had Pro Tools, which costed a lot of people money. Just because you have Pro Tools, yeah, you're professional now, right? Yeah, okay, so you're a professional, and you got this certain sound. That's cool and all. You paid for the sound. Same thing with computers and all the stuff we got now. Yeah, you got the sound. And why ain't in a whole bunch of million stars right now? Even though the industry's broke right now. It's broken into sections. So now, everybody has the technology, right? Why isn't it a whole bunch of stars? It should be 32 Beyoncés, 32, 57 Jimi Hendrixes right by now. It should be 17 Princes. It's that many in this world, and there is no, and have already lived and went on before that because it was so many people and they didn't get in those particular doors, or those doors were regionalized. I mean, there's so many stars that I don't even know about. That's what made me, gain more followers on this thing, is that I was learning as I was listening. I didn't know I was tapping into a whole nother culture, a whole nother time frame of music that everybody was going up to and dancing to, and at their shows and the discotheques and the discos. And that's what they grew up on. I did not know that. Oh, what a lesson and what a ride. And I appreciate all y'all that did come on, because that touched your nerve to what was going on at that time. And that stuff is dynamic and it works today. It works today and everybody resonates with it. So much that commercial television and radio and public radio, they jumped on that song. The Fabian, the guy who wrote the hits for Milli Vanilli and that group with the guy that's wild, with the yellow skin guy, Boney M. The same guy produced those two groups and this other group, and even to see Trevor Horn, yeah. And you see how public radio, they got their own little circuit of music, but they always do a parody of what's happening. Or now they're just sampling what was hot, whether it be an instrumental track of a Gangstar song or a De La Soul song or Erykah Badu song, and they'll just jack the instrumental and announce their stuff over it. Or they'll make a parody. They used to make parodies of stuff. But yeah, now they got a parody on their TV show. It's the commercial, and it's the parody of Eruption song. It's an Eruption song. And I know, because I used to work with people at KRA. I used to sell to people at KRA with they used to come into the music store where I worked, and he let me know. I knew who he was, and I had a relationship with the guy to let him know what was going on in the music industry. I mean, music instrument side of the game, or software and such. He used sound fonts, and at the time I didn't use sound fonts. We're talking right there at the end of '99, somewhere in the '98. He used sound fonts, and so did country music artists. I mean, country music producers, because they would be in the store too. And they were friends of mine, but I could never do a session with them. Could never do a session with them. Yeah, I want to go do a session with y'all. I went, yeah, they love, how talented we all get into each other's mind and stuff like that and play. At the store, we have a jam session. Yeah, we have a jam. But I think I went to the studio maybe once or twice just to fix gear or something that went bad, and I was the only guy that knew how to fix a computer said issue to the hardware that everybody was using, because they would make me go to school and get certificates in all the gear. To even work there, I had to go through the hoops. I had to go through every hoop to prove myself. And then I became the geek, the master geek, or the sub-master geek. They had one that was just Yoda or Jabba the Hutt. They had one that was Yoda and Jabba the Hutt. But yeah, I was right there in that Jedi class, and I passed those classes. I still got my certificates to prove it. I passed the Mackie class. I had to take that when they first came out with their digital mixer. Anyway, rambling road. But yeah, this is gonna be nice. But yeah, so professional. I said pro-am on that video, and I'm gonna publish that in a minute, because you see the facial expression I made on there. If you see the facial expression I made on that video, and when I saw it first, I was like, oh my goodness. It's a bad mamma jamma right here, man. It's a bad mamma jamma right here. This gonna make me feel at home. It's gonna make me take it in a whole nother direction. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, it's gonna make the direction better. It's gonna make me remember my steps. Woo, what are my steps? It's gonna make me remember who I was before all this mess happened. I'm not joking. I need to hear what I need to put on here. And when I put my stuff back on here and be transferring back and forth, splicing tapes and editing, I want to learn that part on here too. That's cool. I want to get a couple of other machines. I still got to fix that 4-track I got, or that 8. I think that's a 4-track. Might be an 8-track. Now I think it's an 8-track on cassette tape, that Tascam. I got to figure out how to do that. I got to fix the head on it, the rubber band for the motor. Boy, I hope these motors still run. They look like they just tucked it in there just so they could play whatever's on these tapes. It's got to be the bomb. It's got to be the bomb. But you cannot play any more tapes until you empty one of these reels. And this tape got snapped. So I'm gonna have to, I think I'm gonna find the Scotch tape. I'm gonna find the Scotch tape, tape that to that, rewind it to where it builds this up so I have an empty reel. I see this reel here is broken. I don't want, for aesthetic purposes, I don't want nothing looking ugly in my studio. So I don't want anybody to see an ugly image of me or working equipment. So, nah, I'm going to take that off, and whatever's on this disc will be okay. I'll get into the next thing. The next thing and have an empty reel. That way I can use it. Find out what's on there, dump all that off. If it's interesting, or if it's even for the audio quality, just let it run for how long does it say? 140 minutes. Let it run. Woo! 1 mil acetate, splice free. Wow, dude. 7-inch reel, 1,800 feet. That don't look like 1,800 feet to me. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know how to measure it without getting messy. But yes, I remember Scotch tape was everybody used Scotch tape. There was no it was like 1 or 2 knockoffs. I mean, not knockoffs, they were contenders. They was contenders. But that was for tape or tape. Yeah. Because you had to wrap your Christmas presents. You had to tape 2 pieces of paper together or something, or tape something, a sign up to something, say we closed or open, or this is this and that's that. It was other companies that made tape and knockoff companies that made, knockoff brand clones. That's what I thought this was a brand clone. This is not a brand clone. I don't think so. Well, I gotta read up on it. But it says professional. So maybe it's a brand clone and it's not Pro. Maybe it's Pro. Maybe it's Pro like it says on the thing. So yeah, there it is. And I'll wind off of that. But what a beautiful find. What a beautiful time. A beautiful sign. This is a sign, man. This is a sign, bro. This here got to go. I got to make this one, man. I got to record my best on this stuff. I got to do my best like I've been doing. But this is going to bring me, it's going to bring me feeling that real stuff again. That real, man, that's what I'm missing, what everybody's missing. And that is what I'm talking about. That one group that recorded on that 8-track Tascam, I don't even know the name of that group. But that video is so nice. And that music is so enchanting. The most enchanting sound I've ever heard of this particular decade of music. And it's not being played. It's not being promoted. So many followers, so many people have got on there and listened to it. I'm going to record it for myself so I can hear it again and just be inspired by it because of the warmth of the tape. And I know that's what my issue is with music. It's the committal. With relationships, it's committal. It's the committal. Do you commit to tape? Do you commit to the analog? The analog restrictions of freedom. Restrictions of freedom. Wow. Do you commit to the tape when you go on one track and you get ready to do your second track with the one tape playing or not? And you just committing to tape. And that's what we all doing on any recorder situation, or voluntary or involuntary. But on analog, you're having to do the work. You're having to put the tape on the thing and hit the button and turn the switch. You have to dial in the numbers and watch the VU meter and have your input sounding good and going into the thing, make sure you're monitoring right. You have to put all that work into it on these. So you better come with some good stuff. You better come with some good stuff, or play if you want to. But you're going to commit to it though. Your audio is committing to the tape or whatever you're recording on. And it's a committal thing. And you cannot come with it weak, or whatever you come with weak. You can edit. It got editing on this. This was their computer. You can edit and make it better the next one, or make it worse, or make it just the same, or do looping. You could loop a recording on this. You can do that and loop the beat perfectly by working with the tape. So it was committal. And that's what I see different from using a DAW, a digital audio workstation. You're committing to something. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to commit to that track. That's why, and ADAT was even recording on videotape. You had to rewind that tape. And when you rewind that tape and you get ready to record your what was the ADAT? ADAT was 8 tracks, 16 tracks. And then you could stack those and have virtual tracks and stack 3 machines together. And that's what you had more than you could do on the Atari in a minute. So, but you rewind it to make a good song. You could digitally loop and comp things, but you committed to that tape, because when you rewind that mug, it's going to play that other track, or you can mute it, or you can blend it in some kind of way in the mix, or whatever way you want to do, manipulate the signal. But you committed to the track. By the end of your song, you committed to at least 8 to however many tracks you had linked up. But you committed. Your second machine did not play a different song while you was in that same song, because you're not clashing. So there it is. There it is. I'll stop at that point right there. I love playing with that music stuff. Audio equipment, video. The old school. I'm not too keen on this new school. I'm learning it. Still learning. And that's the cool thing. Everybody's still learning. Can't say I'm a master of it. Even though I be doing a lot of things with the digital stuff. But this here, woo-wee. Alright. Wow. This is gonna be fun, buddy. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I had to cancel all engagements today. Slow down. Hey, baby, your hips getting big. What is that boy there? Because he hit him behind the speaker. Wow. All your street time is limited today's on your crack card. Man, that was a good song. This is what that reminds me of. It's a Brand Nubian song that slow down, and that my life, boom, do. Man, that was when I saw that video. I was like, wow, really, man? They're gonna do Boy's song, man, and they did it right. I like that man's song. That man's song could not be topped, but when they sampled it, right? Alamo. Rest in peace. Wow. Wow. My life. Boom. Do. Don't. Yeah. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. Wood grain gripping wood. Wood grain textures, baby. I'm telling you, man. 92, baby. Back in 92. Let's see. 95, 97, 98. I'm saying those some classics. I like 93, but I'm talking about some classics. 2002 was classics. I think 2006 was classics. A lot of classics still being written. Remember some cut. All that stuff that was coming out of Atlanta. Yeah. The Mecca. Right there. And what's the name? I wonder if they had some locks and I just didn't know where to get them. I'm going to have to look and see what this looked like in the manual. Maybe there's something you're supposed to put on there to lock it in so it doesn't fall out of groove, or maybe it's moving to me. So, anyway, that's enough of this one. We'll do another one. We'll do another one on this analog equipment, man. This is going to be nice. It's going to be nice. I record the first sound audio here, I guess. I hope it's not nothing too wild. I don't want to get no strikes or nothing. I want to excite the eardrums and excite my imagination. I want to be inspired. I want to be inspiring. So we'll see how it goes, man. Yes, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for even this opportunity. All of y'all. People before me, the people watching me, the people on. The reason why. Wow, thank y'all. Wow, this is crazy that we ever get to do this. This is nice. This is nice. Time capsules.